5 criminal masterminds who became rich through robbery. Throughout history, many criminals have made their fortune through daring and elaborate robberies. While some were caught and punished, others evaded justice and lived in luxury. In this video, we'll explore the true stories of 5 individuals who pulled off some of the most audacious robberies and became incredibly rich, at least for a while. Let's dive into the world of high-stakes heists, masterful planning, and stolen millions. 1. Leonardo Notarbartolo, the Antwerp diamond heist. The score: over $100 million in diamonds, gold, and cash. Leonardo Notarbartolo was the mastermind behind one of the biggest diamond heists in history, the 2003 Antwerp diamond heist. The job was so well planned that it seemed like something out of a Hollywood movie. The heist. Antwerp, Belgium, is home to one of the world's most secure diamond districts, with billions of dollars worth of gems passing through each year. Notarbartolo and his crew spent years planning the job. They rented an office near the vault, posed as jewel traders, and even managed to gain access to the highly secure building. On the night of the heist, they bypassed motion sensors, heat detectors, and the heavily reinforced vault door. Inside, they emptied more than 100 safe deposit boxes, making off with diamonds, gold, and cash worth an estimated $100 million. Notarbartolo almost got away with it, but a crucial mistake led to his capture. A garbage bag filled with evidence, including receipts and security tapes, was found near the crime scene. Police linked it back to him, and he was arrested in 2003. However, most of the stolen diamonds were never recovered, and some believe they are still circulating in the black market today. 2. Karl Gagosian, the Friday night bank robber. The score: over $2 million from 50-plus banks. Karl Gagosian was one of the most elusive bank robbers in American history. Unlike reckless criminals, Gagosian was meticulous, making him one of the most successful bank robbers of all time. The heists. Over 30 years, Gagosian robbed more than 50 banks, carefully selecting small-town banks that were easy targets. He always struck on Friday nights, just before closing, when the cash reserves were at their highest. A former military cadet and expert marksman, Gagosian used disguises and fake identities to avoid detection. He also scouted locations months in advance and mapped out perfect escape routes, making it nearly impossible for police to track him down. In 2002, a group of kids found a hidden cave in Pennsylvania containing weapons, disguises, and detailed robbery plans. The FBI traced the evidence back to Gagosian, leading to his arrest. He was sentenced to 17 years in prison, but his calculated approach made him one of the richest bank robbers in history. 3. Willie Sutton, the gentleman bank robber. The score: over $2 million, equivalent to $30 million today. Willie Sutton was one of America's most famous bank robbers during the early 20th century. Unlike other criminals, Sutton was known for his charm and intelligence. He never killed anyone, and his polite manner even earned him the nickname the gentleman robber. The heists. Between the 1920s and 1950s, Sutton robbed dozens of banks, amassing a fortune of over $2 million, an enormous amount at the time. He was an expert at disguises, often dressing as a security guard or maintenance worker to gain access to vaults. One of his most famous heists took place in 1950, when he and his gang stole over $2 million from the National Bank of New York. They entered disguised as police officers, tied up the real guards, and cleaned out the vaults. Sutton was arrested multiple times but managed to escape prison 3 times, one of the few criminals to do so repeatedly. His luck finally ran out in 1952 when a tip from a passerby led to his arrest. After serving time, he was released in 1969 and even appeared in a commercial warning people about bank security. 4. Jesse James, the Old West outlaw. The score: millions in today's money from banks, trains, and stagecoaches. Jesse James is one of the most legendary outlaws in American history. In the years following the Civil War, he and his gang terrorized banks, trains, and stagecoaches across the Midwest, amassing a fortune. The heists. James's most famous heist was the 1876 Northfield bank robbery. His gang attempted to rob the First National Bank of Northfield, Minnesota, but it turned into a disaster when armed townspeople fought back. While the gang got away with a small amount, the attempt marked the beginning of their downfall. At their peak, Jesse and his brother Frank James were said to have stolen the equivalent of millions of dollars from various robberies. Jesse was known for his daring tactics and ability to evade the law for years. After years of robbing banks and evading the law, Jesse James was shot and killed in 1882 by Robert Ford, a member of his own gang looking to claim a government bounty. His story became legendary, with books and movies cementing his place in history as one of America's most notorious criminals. 5. Albert Spaggiari, the Nice Bank Heist. The score: over $30 million in cash and valuables. Albert Spaggiari was a French criminal who masterminded one of the most famous heists in European history, the 1976 Société Générale Bank heist in Nice, France. Spaggiari and his team spent months digging a tunnel from a sewer system into the bank's vault. On the weekend of July 16th to 20th, 1976, they broke into the vault, stole over $30 million, and even left a note reading, "Without weapons, without violence, without hate." It was a nearly perfect crime. No alarms were triggered, and no hostages were taken. The heist stunned the world, with police left with no leads. Spaggiari was eventually caught after an informant tipped off authorities. However, he managed to escape in dramatic fashion, jumping out of a judge's window and landing on a car before speeding away on a motorcycle. He was never recaptured and lived as a fugitive in South America until his death in 1989. These 5 individuals became incredibly rich through some of the most daring and well-planned robberies in history. While some were eventually caught and imprisoned, others managed to escape and live out their lives in secrecy. Their stories continue to fascinate the world, proving that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Which of these robberies surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more incredible true crime stories.